Hi guys, it's Lynn here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Now guys, I'm in the polytunnel and it's that time of year where we have to think about bringing in the plants that are not so cold hardy into the house to overwinter. Now, normally when I lived in the south of Ireland, I used to leave this possibly until late October, sometimes even into the November, because the temperatures were a little bit warmer up there, but down there I should say, because we were up north in Northern Ireland this year, it is a few degrees colder up here. So thinking about doing this now a bit earlier than normal, and we have had a couple of really cold nights, which we've got the heater on there, as you can see. And some of these plants here do need a minimum of 10 degrees Celsius, such as the Perescias here, as you can see, and some of the euphorbias, like this one here, and a few other little certain types of individual cacti, such as the Ulbomania here. These are not cold hardy at all. So although they've been okay with the heater on in here, it's time, to keep this permanently heated above 10 Celsius at this time of year would be very costly. And me and Hans actually keep this polytunnel heated at a minimum of 5 degrees Celsius. This heater actually kicks on if it drops below 5C in this polytunnel, which thankfully shouldn't be too often still at this time of year. Last year was a nightmare because it was a bitterly cold winter and the heater was on practically all the time. Hopefully it won't be so cold this year. Let's just hope we don't get a winter like that again. But I say, ideally to overwinter the colder hardy type of plants, usually I recommend a minimum of 7 degrees Celsius, which in Fahrenheit would possibly be probably about, not quite sure, about 40 degrees. Anything lower than, ideally around the 40 degree Fahrenheit and no lower. A lot of cacti can take even minus temperatures if they're kept completely dry. But because we're here, as I say, Ireland is a damp climate, and the biggest problem is the humidity, even inside a dry polytunnel. So we'd like to overwinter them a little bit higher than the average, so to keep things on the safe side. And as you can see, the majority of the cacti, including the succulents and the aloes, can withstand cold temperatures if they're all kept dry. Including the epiphyllums as well, so they're going to be kept in here. They overwintered fine last year. This Rhipsalis crispata did scar last year in the colder temperatures, so that's going to be overwintered inside the house because, as you can see, it's outgrown the damage during the summer, but this does scar in temperatures below 10, so that's coming in. But the other epiphyllums are all pretty much okay in here. But as I say, have to keep an eye on your plants as the weeks go. And the Schlumbergeras and Rhipsalidopsis, as you can see here, are okay out here in the polytunnel too. They overwintered very well. But I am thinking possibly if it's a very cold winter again, I may bring them into the house to overwinter. But ideally, while the temperatures are not too bad, I'm going to keep them out here. They overwintered okay last year, so I'll see how we go, because obviously this is the time of year when they do start to form buds. As you can see, this is the orange basil starting to form a little flower bud already, which is very good news. And there too, so if I was to bring them into the house, they would drop their buds. So as I say, they are cold hardy enough to a degree, and see how we go. But as I say, this video blog, what I'm going to be doing is, Hans is away this weekend. He's playing with his band. He's a musician, so he's busy with his band this weekend. And those of you who've been following this series of video vlogs know that we brought the ones that in the hanging baskets into the house the other day. And we've also brought some of the big tall cacti that were in the yard into the house as well. Not because of the temperatures, but because we'd had a lot of rain, and they're too large to overwinter in the polytunnel, so we've brought them in already. And this is going to be bringing the smaller ones into the house. Now, we've got 2 grow rooms upstairs. One is my office, and I've converted the whole windowsill and the table into extra space to overwinter plants. And the other one is Hans's little music room. Also, he has got that as grow room too, that we've converted for all the plants to overwinter. And we have grow lights in there as well for the seedlings and any plants that still grow during the winter. And also to provide a bit of extra light, one of our grow rooms is north facing, so having the grow lamps in there just on for a couple of hours a day gives the effect as if it's south facing for the plants, so it helps them to overwinter. And as I say, I'm going to be showing you, this could be a bit of a longish video, but so what I'm going to be doing is doing it in a series of days, because it's going to take probably a couple of weeks to get the plants sorted out. Once I've brought the plants in from here that I want to overwinter in the house, I'm going to be rearranging this a bit. And also these succulents, very messy here. They're very overgrown and you can't really see certain plants. So I'm going to be spreading these across as well and making a bit more room. So I'm going to do a few series of video vlogs over the next few weeks. There's no rush on getting it done at the moment. Temperatures are still mild enough. But what I'm going to be doing, is bringing in today all the plants from the polytunnel that are not cold hardy. And then I'm going to be putting them all onto black trays in my office, and then going to be rearranging them in the rooms over the next few days. So this video vlog is purely me just showing you what isn't cold hardy and then putting it all onto the trays, and then I'm going to carry on probably putting a few things on some stands and tables inside the house over the next few days. So I hope you enjoyed the video vlog, guys, and that's my lengthy introduction, and then let's get going then. Now, these are the ones on the plant stand that we've still got outside here. I do bring them in over night time because they're Hylocereus and also carnivorous Nepenthes, and also this Ripsalis Paradox is not a cold hardy one. As you can see, it's already showing signs of cold damage, like orange spots, because I left it out the one night when it wasn't forecasted to be too cold, and it dropped to 7 Celsius, which isn't cold, but it's too cold for these type of plants without the heater in the polytunnel. So I have these out during the day and then I bring them in overnight. But this plant stand is going to be coming in tonight, and I'm going to show you what I do with that, possibly in tomorrow's vlog. This is going to go into my office. I know it's humongous, guys, but there's nowhere else to put it. My office is nice and bright and it gets indirect. Well, it does actually get sunlight actually on the one side, which is perfect for the Ripsalis and the Hylocereus to overwinter. So I'm going to show you what to do that, but that'll be in tomorrow's vlog. We've also got the monkey puzzles. They're going to be going into the polytunnel because although they're an outdoor plant, they're still a little bit young to stay outdoors. If you get frost, they're going to go into the polytunnel and get water throughout the winter. As I say, these sort of oaks, a selection of different plants here, these can all stay out for the winter, no problem at all. If they're forecast extremely cold temperatures, they can then go into our little spare outer building there on the frosty nights, but they should be okay. Obviously this Kalanchoe is going to be going into the polytunnel, and the Apuntia, and we've also got Epiphyllum. They've been out here while it's sunny during the days. They're going to be going into the polytunnel to overwinter as well. This Kalanchoe hanging basket is going to go into the polytunnel. Hoya linearis is going to be going upstairs into our plant room on probably on this plant stand that's coming into flower buds. So it's important I keep that in the same direction. As you can see, there's little buds forming on that, but obviously it's not cold hardy to stay out here. And then we have the lovely Kalanchoe Marneriana, an amazing bowl that I'm going to be putting into a hanging basket, possibly next spring now, because it's not the time of year to really repot plants, but I might place it into a hanging basket as it is, and that can be hung because it's really beautiful. Look at that. And this was actually gifted to me as a few cuttings from a lovely kind gentleman who works at the Belfast Botanic Gardens. I was admiring it and he was actually trimming it down. He said, here, I have some cuttings. So that is very nice. So thank you. See, it's coming to a beautiful specimen. And then here we have my carnivorous plants. I have Nepenthes, Sarracenia, Venus flytraps as well. And this one is the Venus flytrap that actually grew from seeds, I think it's about 3 years ago now. As you can see, very, very small still. So they're very, very slow growing, but they're doing well. Now, I overwintered these last year in the polytunnel, but one of my old Nepenthes died. I managed to save cuttings because it's just they are more of a tropical plant. Sarracenia and Venus flytrap and other types of carnivores can actually take very cold temperatures, but because they do like to be kept damp at all times, and in the polytunnel, I want it to be very arid and dry in there because we have a humidity problem here in Ireland. That I'm actually going to be putting into the bathroom where it's going to get plenty of humidity and sunshine and rainwater. So I've changed a plan this year. As I say, if you've got carnivorous plants and you have a greenhouse, or you don't necessarily have them next to cacti. And I know many people who grow cacti and carnivorous plants together, no problem. My friend Shane Walsh and also Chris Coyle, but it's just a bit of a problem with our polytunnel. So as I say, these are going to be overwintered indoors. They may not have a proper rest period though, because it's going to be warm in the house, but it's just something I'm going to try different this year, because it's easier for me to keep watering them inside than it will be in the polytunnel with all the drier plants. Some pellies over here, some pelargoniums, and geranium there. They're going to be overwintered in the polytunnel too as well, so I say they'll be kept slightly damp, but that's it. And a couple of little young things. It's a bit of a mess in our yard. This is Hans's big bike. It's got covered here, so it's a bit of a mess at the moment, but as I say, everything's going to be tidied up. Now this is the chlorophytums here. These are doing very well. I've had them on the hanging basket hooks, and they're going to be being brought into the house now because it's getting chilly nights, and they're also going on the plant stand, so it's going to be very interesting in my office with all these plants. I'll have very clean air anyway. So that's a little bit of my waffle, just explaining what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to show you what I've already done this morning actually. We bought these in this morning, or I should say. Me and Hansi bought these big taller ones in the other day, and we're going to be moving these in the house. These are this is our little spare little room out the back here, our cloakroom. These are the two big euphorbias, Euphorbia tyricale and Euphorbia triangularis. They're going to be overwintered in the house, possibly in the kitchen, but we've just bought them in for now, so it's going to be very interesting. And these two big giants may have to keep here. As I say, it's very bright here. This is a sort of a bit of a spare back room we've got here. It goes into the garden. The sun comes right across, so they get plenty of sun. I wouldn't normally recommend overwintering. Well, overwintering is absolutely perfect, so I wouldn't recommend growing cacti this far away from a window. Normally, I would recommend no further than 1 metre away from a sunny window. But because these cacti are only going to be overwintering here and not being kept here all year round, they're going to be going back out again in the springtime into the garden. So just to overwinter them, this is perfect. They get enough light here, and they're not going to be growing or watered. So this is enough for them here to overwinter. These two, however, still grow this time of year. These are South African euphorbias. So they're going to be going into the kitchen, which I'm going to show you here. Probably going to be putting them here next to our south-facing window. We've got a few selection of different plants in here, euphorbias and everything. I'm probably putting the other one here as well, and put the plants going around it. And this is where, if you saw our video vlog from the other day, where I brought a lot of the tall ones into the from the yard here. And as I say, I wouldn't recommend growing plants, cacti plants, this far away. They're very close to the window. The sun comes right across. But normally if you were growing them during their growing period, which is spring and summer, they would grow etoliated, stretched out this far away from a window, believe it or not, even a south-facing window. But because they are going to be overwintered, no problem at all kept here. It's a bright spot. They do get sun coming across. And because this is our kitchen, I know we cook in here and everything, it is actually kept cool because we don't have our house hot as such. So it's better to keep these at a cooler position to not encourage them to grow. We have our heater switched off in this kitchen anyway. It's still warm enough, and we have our ferns so they don't dry out, and it's not too hot to encourage the plants to carry on growing. Now guys, because I think this is going to be a long video, I mean no one has the time to sit and watch all these, I've decided I'm going to do this in 2 parts. This is going to be part of part 1. I'm just explaining what I'm going to be doing to overwinter these plants, a little bit about each room and how everything's going to be changed, as I say. And then the second part of this video I'll put on tomorrow, and I'm going to show you them all the plants we're going to be overwintering indoors on these trays. I've got these extra trays here. I'm going to be putting these down on the floor in the office. I'm going to show you all the plants I bought in from the polytunnel that are going to be overwintered in this room here, and also the other room next door, which would be Hans's little grow room and his music room. As I said, we've got plenty more space going across here. We have our grow lights. This is a lovely south-facing window that gets plenty of sun even in the winter, but we're going to obviously need extra light on cloudy days, and because there's no window this side, this grow light helps to supplement light to this side here, which is great. So you have a selection of lots of different plants already in here. Lots of different varieties, some cacti, some succulents, all the seedlings here as well. that we're growing. I have orchids here. The orchids I think I'm going to be putting onto a plant stand. Now this is our big bookcase full of all our books, all different types, mostly all cacti and succulent and gardening books. So this is going to be coming away and going into another room, and then that's going to give us room. Then I've got a big metal wrought iron plant stand I'm going to be putting here, and I'm going to be putting the orchids onto the plant stand, and they're going to get indirect light coming across, because in the summer these, especially the phalaenopsis, were fine here because the sun went across the windowsill and kept off the orchids. But now the winter sun's coming in, the sun's dropping and the sun's going right across, and they're getting a little bit too much sun. And I see this is lovely to see this going into flower as well, which is very, very, very exciting. That's my zygopetalum. So I want to make sure that it's facing the same direction, but a little bit further away from the window. Epidendrum, that's going to be yellow from too much sun. So that's why I'm going to be putting the plant stand there. As I say, here's the plant stand all ready to go up. So that's going to be very exciting there. And the bookcase being moved, and I'm going to be rearranging all of this and making space for the plants in the polytunnel to come in here that's going to be overwintered. But as I say, that's my waffle. That's what I'm going to be doing. And before I completely finish this vlog, I'm going to be moving this bookcase and then I'm going to set the plant stand up and show you what it looks like with the stand is up. And also the hanging basket stand is going to be going here. These two big tall euphorbias are going to be going onto the table near the window. Big hanging basket stand's going to be there. So I'm going to show you what the hanging basket stand looks like when it's up, and the wrought iron stand, because that's all I'm going to be doing today, because that's going to be a big enough job to bring the plants in. And then I'm going to end the blog then, probably show you what it looks like when they're up. I'm going to be putting them on the plant stand and the hanging basket stand and rearranging the tables and showing you all the plants I've decided to bring in. So just to keep this short, that's me. That's explaining what I'm going to be doing to overwinter the plants. Also, if you're unsure what type of plants are cold hardy or not, join me on tomorrow's vlog, and I'm going to show you, go through the plants in the polytunnel and show you why I'm deciding to overwinter them indoors, and explaining a little bit about why they're not cold hardy. If you're new to cacti and succulents and unsure, again, it can depend where you're living in the world as well. If you're living in a hot country, you don't need to worry about overwintering anything. So guys, thanks so much for watching, and do stay tuned to part 2, which will be up tomorrow, where I'm going to be, as I say, rearranging things and bringing things in. So I want to send you loads of love. Oh, by the way, guys, if you want to learn more about growing cacti and succulents, and you're new to growing these plants, or you just want to see my website, please do check my website out, desertplantsofavalon.com, and links will be down below in the about description in this video. Do go over and check my website out, and go into the page where it says growing tips. Hover the mouse over it and it will come up with lots of notes. For example, how to water cacti and succulents, the lighting requirements, also a bit about overwintering cacti. Lots of different things on there, so do check it out, guys. And as I say, links will be down below. So guys, thanks so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.